Hey, good Tuesday morning, everybody. It is gorgeous here this morning as I'm getting ready to set up for the MB. An absolutely beautiful morning. Pelican patrol flying by. Big, bright, full moon up in the sky. I don't know how it can get any more beautiful. We've got a lot to cover. So much to talk about. Let's get to it. It's time for the MB. Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. And I mean absolutely gorgeous with the sunrise and the full moon and that beautiful ocean back behind me. It couldn't be any lovelier this Tuesday morning. So much to talk about. We're going to talk about the long range situation. We'll take you south of the border down to Baja California, see how our friends in Ensenada and other venues are doing. We're going to talk about that bluefin tuna out there on Tanner and Cortez Bank. The weather's up, but did it have an adverse effect on the fishing? We'll go up to the Channel Islands where the Island Spirit had another great day of rock fishing and so much more, including a big day right here in Surfside this coming Saturday when you can fish with my co-host, Paulina. My co-host when I'm in Mexico. You can show up here and fish with her, or you can just bring some donuts and coffee and hang out for a while. 11 to 1 in the morning, we're going to have that and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, God, is that good? And it is a beautiful morning. I hope you get out and do some fishing, whether it's here in the surf or you're headed offshore or you're just going to take a walk on the beach. You owe it to yourself to do it. It is absolutely gorgeous this Tuesday morning in SoCal and northern Baja California. Don't forget, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you share these videos with a friend. Subscribe to the Freeman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that little bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. So much to talk to you about. I hope you caught our show last night. Tackle Shop Confessions, live from Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California, with my dear friend Sam De La Torre. That was a great show and a lot of fun. Thank you for all of your questions last night. We just go for hours sometimes with constant questions flowing in. We love that show because it has a huge impact on how you fish, because so many of you are writing in during the show and saying, hey, I'm doing this. I'm going sand bass fishing. I'm going bluefin tuna fishing. I want to catch a yellowtail. And Sam is so great with his advice and tackle tips. Great show. You can go back and watch it now. It's archived for you. All right, south of the border, Abdul Ryan is a dear Freeman Adventures family member. They have almost 400 pounds of Dorado that they caught fishing down in the Bahia de Los Angeles, down there in the Bay of LA, several hundred miles down the Baja Peninsula. Manny Mercado, Abdul Ryan, and friends had just a spectacular trip. The Bay of LA is on fire. Cedros Island, tremendous yellowtail action going on there. And I'm so happy it's continuing because guys like Sam De La Torre and Island Fishing Tackle, Tim Marquez, our tax guy, they're all headed down there to Cedros, and that should be a spectacular trip. Down in Ensenada, we have some good yellowtail action around Todos Santos Islands. That's a stone's throw from downtown Ensenada. Also down the coast at Santo Tomas, and throughout that entire region, you'll find some good calico and sand bass fishing, flurries of barracuda, some big bonita at times. Darn good fishing going on down there in Ensenada. It has been really, really good. All right, let's talk long range for a moment. And I've got to tell you, there's been some really outstanding fishing. The American Angler had 19 wahoo, I think it was, yesterday, in beautiful, pristine weather. The Royal Polaris has been having great fishing down in that neck of the woods. Let's just say any of the boats that are down there on 7 and 8 day trips are experiencing really good yellowfin tuna fishing, mostly on 50 to 80 pound fish. They've had good hits on the Dorado, They've had hits on the wahoo. They've had yellowtail action. It has been a spectacular long-range season this summer. Talking principally about those 7 to 9 day trips for all of the boys. It's really been fantastic fishing, and that is continuing. They've got gorgeous weather down there. You've got to love it. Sometimes you're fishing dropper loop at night for the yellowtail. Other times you're fly lining or throwing an iron. You do go into the Baja Coast on your way home, where there has also been some great calico bass fishing, hits on the white sea bass, more yellowtail, rockfish, great long-range fishing out of San Diego right now. You should take advantage of it in the coming years. And in fact, we have an 8-day trip on the Independence in November. We're going to get in 2 days before Thanksgiving. Sam De La Torre is going to be, I think, on a 10-day on the Royal Star during that same time. He's going to get in 1 day before Thanksgiving. So I'm sure I'll see Sam and the guys on board the Royal Star fishing down where we'll be on the Independence also. That's going to be spectacular. Really great stuff. We've been sold out on that trip for over months. Speaking of trips that are coming up, we have a 2-day trip in September on board the Apollo out of C4 Sport Fishing in San Diego. And then our October 6th through the 8th trip out of our home base, 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California, on board the Amigo. If you want to get on either one of those trips, 657-227-6459. Just send me a text. I'll send you the info, and you can grab one of those last few spots that are available. Let's go out to Tanner and Cortez Bank. Man, is that beautiful or what? Tanner and Cortez Bank, and check out what's going on. And of course, we've got to talk about the weather, because the weather is definitely up out there in that neck of the woods. Nasty weather. It is blowing out there. Some pretty heavy seas, and some guys are really getting their butts kicked. Well, I guess I should say all guys are getting their butts kicked, but some of the big boats are able to hang in there a little bit better. Still, overall, much tougher fishing than it was, say, a few weeks ago, where it was just instant bluefin limits. Limits here in SoCal is 2 fish per angler per day, and it was limits and copious amounts of nice yellowtail to go along with it. Now, a few boats get a hit in on it, and other guys really have tough fishing. Is it the wind and the weather? Is it the full moon? Is it a combination of the two? Well, a lot of guys think it's both right now. I talked to Max on the Highliner just a moment ago. They got out there and he said, this weather is horrible out here, but they toughed it out. They ended up with a dozen fish during the daytime in the 40 to 90 pound class. Not bad for the way things are out there right now. They lost a couple of fish early in the evening yesterday. They ended up with 1 bluefin tuna nighttime fishing. So you're going to want to have your heavy jigs when you're nighttime fishing, 200-pound bite leader material, and up to 500-gram jigs in this kind of crummy weather. You don't see it here, but I'm talking about offshore. It's up and nasty. You're going to want to have that heavy stuff, but only 1 bluefin tuna for them. The Independence, big rig, they managed to have darn good fishing on 20 to 30-pound bluefin tuna. They also had some 50 to 60-pound bluefin tuna to go along with it. So they had a halfway decent hit on that fish. And also the Poseidon on a 2.5-day trip, they had 93 yellowtail, but only 4 bluefin tuna. It has been tough out there in that neck of the woods. Now, here's what's going on. That fish, that 10 to 40-pound bluefin tuna, has been out on Tanner and Cortez with some good yellowtail action, but it's really nasty out there. And unfortunately, I hate to be the guy to break it to you, but this weather is going to continue off and on, but for the most part, be breezy for the next 5 days at least. It looks like we're into that scenario, sometimes where you have these high inland air temperatures, the wind blows offshore out there, and it looks like we're going to have that for a while to go. So a lot of guys are going after the bigger fish. Why? Because it's near San Clemente Island and the weather is much better. Big fish around San Clemente, fewer of them, copious amounts of fish before out there on Tanner and Cortez biting full speed limits, but now the weather's up, the full moon seems to have the fish in a funk. We're just going to have to get through this little time period, and hopefully we'll get back on it again. Getting reports from the Shogun because our dear friend Bob Gifford is on board, and he said it was everything he could do to hang on. He's got a bluefin tuna. Buddy of mine also, Nick Acosta, is on board there. He's got a bluefin tuna. but they said it's been tough fishing, rough weather for the most part out there on Tanner and Cortez. They're big fish hunting right now. We'll see if they come up with something here very, very soon. How about, this was a while ago, but a 27-pound halibut out there on Cortez Bank. Really nice hit for the boys out there. Alan Minanison. Minanison. Man, I'm tired. Alan, I screwed up your last name. But nice halibut out there on Cortez Bank. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, you having tax problems or you can't pronounce a guy's last name? You want to see Tim Marquez, our dear friend and Freeman Adventures family member. He's been doing taxes for 35 years. Give Tim a call today. And for heating and or air conditioning needs, just like Sam De La Torre did the other day. John Lopez came out to his store and fixed him up ASAP. Give John an efficient heating and air conditioning a call today and tell him Sam and I say hello. All right, let's talk islands. And we've got to talk the Coronado Islands right now, down there out of San Diego. Still really good yellowtail action going on at the islands. It's been one heck of a season, one of the best I can remember in a long, long time. The Mission Belle with 29 anglers had 45 yellowtail. Nice hit for them. San Diego, 31 guys, 39 yellowtail. Yesterday, the Sea Watch, 18 guys, a bluefin, and 26 yellowtail. There's surface ironfish, there's some yo-yo ironfish, but mostly it's on the bait with a 25-pound fluorocarbon leader or top shot and a good hot bait. That's been the way to go. San Clemente Island, we see that big bluefin around there, as we previously mentioned, but we also have some really good calico bass fishing and some decent yellowtail action at times. What might hurt that bite is the boat pressure that's getting on it now. Guys getting forced out of the wind into the islet. You're throwing a lot more boats on it. But there are some dropper loop fish in the cove at night mixed up with that squid, some flashes of white sea bass. And during the daytime, some really good calico bass fishing. Catalina Island's been a little bit on the spotty side. You can catch whitefish and rockfish, and at times some really good calico bass fishing. Seeing a lot of yellowtail, but catching just a few at Catalina Island. That reminds me that if you'd like to go to Cat, special weekday prices on the El Patron. Man, weekdays, there's less boat pressure over there, and you normally get a bigger piece of the pie. Catalina Island, the El Patron, Long Beach Sport Fishing. You can book right now by going to www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Up in the Channel Islands, a few halibut, a few white sea bass, but we haven't seen a big hit on that fish here for a while now. Some guys get up there in the double digits on the halibut, but it's been a lot of rockfish, and they have some breezy conditions, especially at the outer islands. Inshore and the local islands are pretty good, not too breezy in there. We have a trip on Friday on the Island Spirit. That's going to be a great one. Sold out, and I can't wait to get up there and fish. And it looks like our weather's going to be good during the daytime. Maybe pick up on the way home. But yesterday on the Island Spirit, they had nice whitefish and sheephead, rockfish, that kind of thing. Everybody going home with some great 8-8 fish indeed. The Island Spirit's one of our favorite rigs, and we love fishing out of Ventura Sport Fishing. You can get on the Island Spirit tomorrow and also the subsequent days by calling 805-676-3474, or you can visit venturasportfishing.com and have some fun. Down in San Diego on the local scene, picking at the sand bass and calico bass at times, well, it's pretty darn good. And it's been a really great year overall for calico and sand bass down there in San Diego. Is it coming to an end? I'm not sure. Could be just a little sputter in the bite. Other guys had some better calico bass fishing. There's been some short white sea bass and a few legals and some yellowtail. Also down there, we move you up the coast, some sand bass out of Oceanside, and also Dana Wharf sport fishing along with some calico bass up here in the Long Beach, San Pedro area on this absolutely gorgeous morning. We continue to catch mostly sculpin and rockfish. There's been a little bit of bass and barracuda at sea, but we never ever saw our season. Up until now, it's going to be very late if it shows up. I'm talking migratory sand bass and or barracuda, because we did not get a bite on that, and continuing that way right now. Still, I know I'm going to sound like I'm trying to sell you something, but I'm really not. I'm just want to make the comment that, can you imagine just being out there and catching no fish? That's okay, right? And you're going to catch sculpin and rockfish. You're going to go home with some great eating fillets. That's such a beautiful, idyllic scene this morning that I'd give anything to be out there on a boat right now. So take advantage of it. This is absolutely gorgeous. Also, a little bit of sand bass up there in the Channel Islands. Not too much, but a little bit going on there. Don't forget, it's this Saturday when you can fish with Paulina and meet her and take a photo with her. She's really a lovely person. My co-host from Mexico is coming up to Estados Unidos to spend some time with us here. And she'll be right here on this beach on Saturday from 11 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. And then after that, the plan is to go over to Island Fishing Tackle and hang out with Sam De La Torre. More on that tomorrow. I'll let you know about that schedule, but definitely Saturday at 11 a.m. All you do is drive down to Anderson Street and Pacific Coast Highway. It's a couple of miles south of the intersection of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. You'll go down to Anderson, look around for some parking where you'll see that big tower. There's a big tower down there, and you're going to want to walk out on the beach, hang a right, walk down about 10 minutes, and you'll see us all here hanging out. You can bring some coffee and donuts, or you can just bring yourself. You can bring some rods and reels and go fishing with us, and you can drop by Big Fish Bait and Tackle. They're located on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. You can get your bait. You can also get 10% off everything in the store, rods, reels, and everything else. Just mention the Freeman Adventures surf fishing event, and they'll knock 10% off. Tell them, however, before you make the purchase. So when you walk up to the cash register, say, hey, I want my 10% off, or I'd like to buy that reel right there. I want to get 10% off. And then you got everything all taken care of and you're ready to go. Pick up your bait. Show up here this Saturday. It should be fun. There's some corvina. There's been some halibut. Of course, we're in a grunion run right now. You can go grunion hunting tonight here in SoCal, but that has a tendency to bring a lot of predators in here on our beach, like halibut and all kinds of other species. Should be a really fun time. This Saturday, right here, we'll see you. It's going to be a lot of fun. You don't have to RSVP or anything else. Just show up, and we'll see you on the beach this Saturday. All right, my friends, I don't know what else to tell you. We're going to continue to watch it for you very, very closely. Brooke Reynolds, a recent trip to Homer, Alaska. Take a look at that haul. And our buddy Scott Bucher, well, they're calling it a season up there. Their salmon season is over, at least for Scott. They're calling it a season. That means he'll be back in Southern California in about a week. And you know what that means for me? Oh, my God. I don't even want to think about it. Just kidding. Scott will be back in a week. It'll be great to see him. He did a fantastic, admirable job commercial fishing up there. My hat's off to you, Scott. Keep up the great work. We'll keep you all in mind this lovely day. Thanks for spending some time with us this beautiful Tuesday morning. And if I don't see you this Saturday down here on the beach, and I really hope I do, I hope to see you somewhere else really, really soon. Have a great one today, my friends. We'll keep you in touch with all the latest Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'll see you there also.